My friends, thank you. Really. All right. Thanks. Okay. Okay, yes. Thank you. My friends. Wow. Yes. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. My friends, it has been an incredible journey that has brought us to this day. And we are standing on the eve of a new day over there in Washington. And I just want to share with y'all a few words from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. You know, 18 months ago, when we started this unbelievable campaign, and I stood right here on these steps of the town hall in my beautiful hometown of Benton, I really didn't know where it would lead. I was just another ordinary guy who had a feeling in his heart, like many of you did, that something was just not right with our government over there in Washington, D.C. I traveled around our hometown here. I traveled around the county. Heck, I even took a few trips around the state and listened to what other people had to say, and I knew I wasn't wrong. I knew that something had to be done, and I knew that there were good people all across this state who were just waiting for someone to represent them, to step up to the plate, to finally say enough is enough, and to do something to change the terrible direction our country is headed in. Now, I really didn't know if I could be that person, but fortunately, I was lucky enough to have a successful business here in Benton, the Decker & Sons factory. And I was blessed enough to have the unconditional love and support of my wife, Cynthia, and our three sons, Trevor, Colton, and Jack, who said to me, "Dad, go for it. Run for office. Your country needs you." And so it did. And I have a lot of people to thank here tonight, including Cindy and the boys. But before I get to that, I really just want to take a few moments to talk about some of those people I met along this journey, to tell their important stories, because their stories are stories that affect us all. In Fremont, in a little diner called Sally's, I met an out-of-work machinist named Leonard. Len, as his friends called him. Now, Len wasn't bitter about being laid off, no sir. He said he loved his old boss, Mr. Cabruzo. And the day they closed down his plant, he said there wasn't any yelling or fighting or crying among the employees. They're not big complainers down there in Fremont. They know the score. And everybody understood it wasn't Mr. Cabruzo's fault, it's just the way it was. But Bill, Len said to me, I've been working in that tape deck plant for 20 years. And for the life of me, I just don't understand how our government over there in Washington, D.C. keeps letting these Japanese companies come into our country and sell these little phones and iPods to people that let them play music in their cars. So the people don't even need tape decks anymore. Somebody's got to do something about the loss of American jobs. Right then and there, I told Len one of the first things I'd start looking into when I was elected was exactly that. I mean, why are there so many Americans who are no longer in need of tape decks? It's an important issue. So Len, this message is going out to you tonight, wherever you are. I want you to know that I heard you, and I have not forgotten you. I also want you to know, though, that other thing you told me about Mr. Cabruzo, which I promised I would announce on national television if I ever had a chance. I thought more about that, Len, and I'm really just not so sure that's such a good idea right now. So I apologize for that. Well, 2 weeks later, when I stopped at the Stop and Go in Joplin to fill up my truck with some gas and grab a soda, I met a woman working behind the cash register named Carla. Now, Carla was thankful to have a good, steady job there in Joplin. Not too strenuous, getting to meet nice folks all day long as they come and go. But Carla's manager told her that next year, she's going to have to start paying more for her health insurance. Carla's daughter has what you call a chronic, pre-existing health condition that's pretty serious. Racks up a lot of pretty expensive medical bills. I told Carla I wouldn't repeat what that condition was exactly, but it involves... Nah, it's not important. Anyhow, it means that Carla and her husband were worried about how they were going to make it through the next year. Whether they were going to have to tighten that belt and cut back even further on the family's food budget, just so they could pay those medical bills and get by. Carla said to me, Bill, I just don't understand how our federal government can sit back and let these health insurance companies implement these excessive annual price increases that force my employer to drop coverage. I'm strongly in favor of a single-payer, universal health insurance system like they got there in the UK, which would reduce systemic inefficiency and overall cost. All right, then and there, I made a promise to Carla that I would do my best to look into the inefficiency in the coverage and see what we can do about all that. Because it's a serious issue. Oh, also, Carla was very worried about gay people and the environment. That's how I wrote my notes here. You know, I'm not sure if she meant that there were too many gay people in the environment. Or that we need more. Actually, you know, I think maybe those are two separate things. Right. Yeah, that's what. Gay people. She was concerned about, you know, I'm not exactly sure what I meant here. And I was probably kind of tired from writing on account. I wrote down a lot of stuff about that health insurance thing, so I apologize for that. Maybe I shouldn't have brought that up right now. My apologies to Carla. But at any rate, those stories from Lynn, from Carla, are just some of the stories I want to share with you all tonight. Because tomorrow, a new story begins. And I can assure you, my friends, that story does not involve me heading off to Washington to fit in, or to join the old boys club, or to become a part of politics as usual. No, sir. I won't be going to Washington at all. Because as you know by now, I did not win this election. No, it's true. It's true. We have to face facts. Now, I called my opponent, Mr. Normal, and I offered him my concession and a heartfelt congratulations on a race well run. Or at least I left him a message to that effect. I'm not entirely sure who I was speaking to on the other end of the phone. It was pretty noisy over there at this campaign headquarters when I called. But she said she'd be sure to pass along the message. Now, I know there are a lot of people in my position, my shoes, that would probably be spending a lot of time thinking about what went wrong. What they could have done better. But I just want to say I have no regrets. I'm just so proud and thankful for my family, for my campaign manager, Jerry, for all of you out there who watch this campaign so closely and did everything you could to make sure our message was heard, loud and clear by the politicians and by your neighbors all across this great state of ours. There are always small things, very little things, unimportant things really, that when you think back on, you think might have been handled differently, sure. We could have made sure my name was more legible and all those yard signs were printed. We hadn't used that unflattering photo of me that went out in all the mailers last week. And I certainly could have tried to advertise on more TV stations than just that one. Although it was my distinct impression that Game Show Network probably the most popular TV station in our district. Given the breakdown, the demographics and such. And I will say to you all one last time, I am not unhappy with how I performed during the candidates' night debate. Even though there was that incident with my opponent's necktie, the fact that I may have called them some unfortunate names, which are really not suitable for the live television broadcast. But most importantly, I want to thank my wife Cindy and our sons one more time for their love and support over this long journey. Cindy was hoping to be here tonight. Fortunately, earlier this evening, remembered she had a previous engagement schedule, which she ultimately got out of. But I know my son Trevor set the DVR to record tonight's news, so when she watches this later in the week, I just want to say, Cindy, I love you. I'm so sorry for all the loans I've had to take out recently, but I know we're going to make it through this. We're going to be a stronger couple because of it. And to my sons, Trevor, Jack, and Colton, I want to say, thanks for sticking by your old man until the end. Even though I realize you're not actually riding with me. On account of Jack's lacrosse game. Colt being his friends doing homework. Trevor, you need to stay home. Play Xbox. But I hope I've given you a reason to feel inspired by your dad. To look up to me and say, hey, he gave it a try. He stood up for what he believed in. He took up a challenge to fight for the little guy. I hope you keep that feeling with you. That image of me in your head. Maybe someday when you're, I don't know, feeling down, feeling powerless. Not sure what the right thing to do is or how to react to the world. I just hope you think about it. Jerry?
I saw the lights on in here. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just, I was just running through some things.
The speech?
Yeah, it was a speech.
Bill, it's over. It's done.
I know.
I mean, this is crazy. There's nobody here.
I know.
I told you we had a good run. You did your best.
I know.
I did my best. We all did our best.
I know that, Jerry.
It's not like Pee Wee soccer where everyone gets a trophy for doing their best. Sometimes somebody else's best is going to be better than your best. Because there's a winner and a loser. The other guy won. That's just the